So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to use alcohol to remove the tacky layer that sometimes builds up on some plastic items. Usually it seems to happen to like those kind of rubberized kind of plastics. This thing, what's this? One of these Wi-Fi mobile routers. It's like 8 or 9 years old, I think. And you can see it's gotten all sticky and all the dust clings to it. Let me see here. What happens? Yeah, like even paper sticks to it. Oh, wow. I can hear it. It's kind of like a Post-it. And it's just totally disgusting. I mean, there's just no way this thing... Yeah, I mean, this thing is probably teeming with bacteria. This is totally not clean at all. And if you just like wipe it with like a tissue or something like that, the tissue just like deteriorates and breaks off and just adds more, fluffs of white to these things. So for me, I've discovered that using rubbing alcohol works really well. So let's give this a try. I've got these types of different pads here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and start with the big one and see how this works. I got some dishwashing gloves because it kind of gets really sticky and tacky. Let's see here. I'll open up the alcohol pad and I'm just going to try rubbing it down. I'll try doing just one side so we can do a side-to-side comparison. I think that'd be really awesome if that works. Let's see. Wow, that's totally nasty. And again, if I just use water with some soap or some detergent on it, it just doesn't come off. All right. Let's see here. Ooh, there's like a hair stuck in this thing. Oh my gosh, that's gross. All right. Get to the bottom part here. Oops. The nice thing about using alcohol is that, if some liquid does get into the mechanism, or in this case the device itself, the alcohol will kind of evaporate and hopefully not short circuit anything anytime soon. Wow. Still got, even though I've wiped it, there's still stuff coming off of it. You gotta like do it a couple of times. Now, of course, you gotta make sure you don't accidentally crack the plastic when you're pressing on these things. I've done that plenty of times where I've accidentally broken something while trying to clean it. So, balance the using force versus getting the grime off. I think the tacky stuff that's coming out, it's the plasticizers. Something kind of similar happens to plastic car parts, but because they're exposed to UV, normally the car parts are exposed to UV, it kind of like ends up drying out. Okay. Once we remove the tacky, grimy layer, the bottom part is hard plastic. We're kind of basically taking off the rubberized coating, basically. Come on. Okay, yeah, it's coming off more. Fold this a little bit to get a clean spot. There we go. notice when I'm rubbing it, less grime is coming off, so I guess that's good. I'm still able to get some stuff. Okay, well, I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes here, and that'll make it easier for us to kind of do this comparison. Let's see. Oh yeah, I can from the reflection I can still see some of the, I can still tell that there's some of that nastiness here. Let's put some elbow grease into this part. By looking at the reflection, I can see where there's still that gunk on it. Ew. Looking all right. Okay, well, we're going to let this air dry for a second, for a few minutes, I guess. And I'm going to pause the video. Okay, we'll let that dry for a couple of minutes. And let's see here. The part that I've cleaned, it's still, let's see, let's do the paper test. Okay, the paper falls off there, and it sticks over there. So that gives you an idea as to, how much gunk we've cleaned off. I think we can still, there's still some tackiness on this part that we've cleaned off. So there's still some residual stuff, but it's like 100 times better than the uncleaned side. So I'm going to get to work and finish this guy off. Oof. All right, here. Let's re-wet this with more alcohol. Maybe I'm going to get another one. Nasty. This is like years and years of buildup. It's probably like a whole ecosystem of who knows what in here. Don't want to break anything, so I got to take it easy near these ports and stuff. I've accidentally broken off switches, power buttons and whatnot. But it is looking way better than it was when I started. I think I'm going to switch to a new cleaning thing. But anyway, you all have the idea here. It's using this rubbing alcohol. I do not suggest using like rubbing alcohol on like normal tissue. I've discovered that using these kinds of alcohol prep pads, I think the material is a different material and it just stays together. It doesn't disintegrate as you rub against this type of material, this type of sticky material. If I use like tissue saturated with alcohol, what ends up happening is that the tissue deteriorates and then you just get this big mess. It probably depends on the type of tissue. Maybe my tissue is just too cheap. So anyway, this is much better, so much better. And we can look at this prep pad to see how much gunk I've taken off of that case. Man. All right. That is all for today.